Welcome back, love detectives. If you thought we uncovered all the dog psychology tricks in part 1, buckle up because today we are diving into 10 more sneaky tactics manipulators use to capture your heart. Ever feel like you are in a romantic game of chess except your opponent is playing with a deck of marked cards? Well, fear not. Today's tricks will help you see through the smoke and mirrors. From creating false intimacy to appealing to your spiritual side, we are leaving no stone unturned. And remember, this isn't just for entertainment. Young women especially take notes. Knowledge is power and love can sometimes feel like a battlefield. So grab your notepad, your favorite snack, and let's jump into the dark side of romance where the only thing sweeter than love is a well-timed exit. Number 11. Sexual framing through verbal keynote. Manipulators casually introduce sexual themes to gauge comfort levels and lower resistance to intimacy. They frame these topics in a way that seems playful or intellectual. For example, a manipulator might say, I heard a funny theory about why people are attracted to certain types. What do you think draws people to each other sexually? Why it works? Sexual innuendo introduces the idea of intimacy subtly, bypassing defenses, framing it as theoretical conversation, feels safe and non-threatening, paving the way for further advances. Number 12. Getting sexually intimate early in the relationship. Manipulators push for physical intimacy early to trigger hormones that create emotional attachment before their character or intentions can be assessed. If someone is pushing for physical intimacy or looks for excuses to touch you early in a relationship, this should be a red flag. For example, suggesting staying over after just a few dates and justifying it with, I feel so connected to you already. Why it works? Physical intimacy releases oxytocin and dopamine, promoting bonding and attachment. This chemical cocktail clouds judgment, making it harder to recognize red flags or emotionally detach. Number 13. Over-explaining their good intentions. Covert narcissists go out of their way to justify their actions to appear trustworthy. They often present themselves as overly kind, empathic, and humble. This serves two main functions. You see them as a good person. It also makes you guilty for questioning their motives. Why it works? Over-justification creates a guilt loop where questioning their motives makes you feel like the problem. We are conditioned to trust people who appear virtuous. Genuinely good people rarely advertise their goodness and are often cautious about labeling themselves as good because they are so aware of their own flaws. Number 14. Appeal to your spiritual side. Framing the connection as something deeper like destiny, spirituality, or soulmates heightens emotional intensity and creates a sense of uniqueness. For example, a manipulator might say, I feel like we are meant to meet. It's like the universe brought us together for a reason. Why it works? Humans crave meaning and connection. Spiritual framing intensifies emotional investment, binding you to the manipulator even when red flags appear. Number 15. Being hot and cold. Manipulators alternate between affection and withdrawal, keeping you confused and desperate for their validation. This tactic usually occurs in the middle stages of a relationship after they have already hooked you through love bombing. Withdrawing love and attention deepens the bond as you work harder to regain their love and attention. For example, after a few days of constant texting and compliments, they suddenly disappear for 2 days. When you ask about it, they reply with, I have been really busy, I just couldn't get enough time. Why it works? Intermittent reinforcement, giving affection unpredictably, is a powerful psychological tactic. It mirrors the mechanism of gambling addiction, where occasional rewards keep you hooked, hoping for the next win. Number 16. Manufacturing jealousy. Manipulators mention or imply that others are interested in them to make you feel insecure and work harder for their approval. For example, a manipulator might say, a co-worker keeps asking me to grab coffee, but I would rather spend time with you. Why it works? Social comparison is deeply ingrained in humans. When someone implies they have other options, it triggers a fear of loss, increasing your emotional investment to secure their attention. Number 17. Subtly forcing you to share your secrets. Manipulators often fabricate stories about their vulnerabilities and past hardships, pretending to open up emotionally. They share exaggerated or entirely false tales of their deep insecurities or trauma. This encourages you to share your own secrets and vulnerabilities. For example, a manipulator might say, I have been hurt so many times before and it is hard for me to trust anyone, but I feel like I can open up to you. Once they spin their fabricated tales of pain, you are drawn to share your own experiences, creating an emotional bond. They further strengthen this connection by feigning understanding and empathy. Why it works? Humans tend to reciprocate vulnerability as a way of building trust. By creating a false sense of closeness, manipulators gain access to your inner world, which they can later use to manipulate or control you. Number 18. Emotional mirroring. Manipulators reflect your emotions, values, and experiences to create a fake sense of deep connection and compatibility. Signs to watch for: excessive praise for your personality or interests early on without knowing much about you. Over fascination with your hobbies despite limited knowledge about you. Flattery for traits you know aren't impressive. Constant agreement with your views or behaviors. Why it works? Mirroring activates a psychological bias called the similarity attraction effect. We naturally trust and bond with people who seem to share our values and experiences, making mirroring a potent tool for building an emotional connection. Number 19. The mysterious stranger effect. Manipulators often create an air of mystery around themselves to make you more curious and intrigued. By withholding key details about their past or intentions, they become an enigma you feel compelled to solve. For example, they might mention an ex in passing but refuse to elaborate or casually drop hints about secret travels and past adventures without giving you the full story. They may ask questions that encourage deeper discussion, but don't always provide direct answers. Why it works? The human mind craves closure and certainty, and by leaving gaps in their narrative, manipulators keep you hooked, wanting to uncover their secrets. This tactic plays on your natural desire to understand and uncover the unknown, increasing your emotional investment. And there you have it, more sneaky tactics manipulators use to worm their way into your heart. These strategies might seem as subtle as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs, but trust me, their impact can hit harder than a surprise breakup text. Remember, knowledge is your best defense. The more you understand these tricks, the less power manipulators will have over you. It is like having a secret decoder ring for love minus the cereal box. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. You won't want to miss the next episode where we'll expose even more manipulative tactics like how guilt, control, and even a little puppy dog eye action can keep you hooked. Have you encountered any of these behaviors before? Spill the tea in the comments below. Your story could help someone else escape the clutches of Cupid's not so funny tricks. Stay informed, stay strong, and always remember you deserve love that lifts you up, not love that makes you feel like you are stuck in a game of emotional limbo. See you in the next video.